Kennedy. I'm the manager of EastSide Arts. We're part of the EastSide Partnership, and I'm the chair of Terra Nova. So I've been involved for such a long time that I'm trying to remember how I first came to know about Terra Nova. And I'm fairly sure it was whenever I was working at Down Arts Centre. So I was a programmer for the centre, and I would have put on all the live events. So we ran like a seasonal programme of live events in the centre, and I looked after that. And we booked in touring theatre shows, and so Terra Nova brought probably a number of shows, but the one I remember is, I think, Arrivals 3. And the show came to the Arts Centre, and we also connected in with one of the council officers looking at good relations, and we were able to bring together a group of people from the local area and run a workshop after the show. We brought the show into the auditorium, and it was done in a really interesting layout. The show wasn't on the stage in the way you would imagine, and I remember just from the very first moment of the audience arriving that it was a different experience, and I've always felt this with Terra Nova. It was a different kind of an audience experience. It was quite immersive, it was quite conversational, and the performances were absolutely beautiful. The show was incredibly engaging, and it ended on this cliffhanger, and the audience all held their breath the whole way through into the workshop. And as soon as the workshop started, the first thing they wanted to know was, did he get to stay? Was he going to be able to stay? And Andrea then told us the story that the piece of theatre had been based on. And it was so moving and so impactful, and every single member of that audience cared about what happened to that couple. And it was just wonderful. And I think it's probably one of my earliest memories of Terra Nova, and just that sense of things being really special, and the story being so well told, and the connection to an audience being so strong. I think that flows through all of them. So The Tempest is definitely one of my warmest memories about Terra Nova. So a huge scale, enormous undertaking, as I saw it then and still see it now, for such a small company. And I know it really, really pushed the company. And Andrea sort of drew on every ounce of her incredible experience and ability to pull off this enormous show, a community Shakespeare project that was staged in Titanic, in the centre of Belfast, and it hadn't been, as far as I recall, it hadn't been done before, and just the commitment and the passion around bringing together that community cast, and I suppose in creating in them, or developing in them, a love of Shakespeare and a love of the language, and again the storytelling, and the immense theatricality of that piece of writing. And then actually going down to Titanic and watching the show, and seeing the community cast come together with the professionals, and the incredible music by Nick Boyle, and just being swept away by it all, and being so impressed that this enormous piece was taking place in Belfast, and that Terra Nova were part of it. And I know that the experience for the Tempest community cast was really special, and that those people have sort of stayed in touch with the company and moved along and been on a journey with the company, and I think that's really important. And again, bringing together, the way Andrea does so beautifully and Terra Nova does so beautifully, the intercultural element to the work, and bringing global majority actors over from other parts of the United Kingdom and Ireland to work in that show, and again we were seeing faces on our stages that we rarely did, and again it was a very special experience, and I think that sort of solidly put Terra Nova on the map in the theatrical world in Northern Ireland. We delivered a really beautiful project that I was very proud of. I think it was a really important piece of work for us to do, and it certainly started our journey around interculturality and working with minority communities, and it's the Home Project. We started this as a one-year project with enough funding to do the first iteration, and we brought together local communities with minority actors or musicians, essentially professionals within the creative sector that wanted to develop, and were essentially part of the minority groups that wouldn't necessarily have those opportunities. They may not have had English as a first language, or they may have been from outside of Northern Ireland and just sort of settling here and trying to find their feet. And it was a lovely project that brought together people who were making Northern Ireland home and making East Belfast home for the first time, and those communities in East Belfast who have been here for a long time. And they were learning from each other and sharing stories of what home meant to them. And it was delivered with Terra Nova because we certainly don't have those skills within EastSide Arts, within our team. And so to be able to work with Terra Nova on that project brought a whole world of skills development and professional development into our project that we wouldn't have had, as well as the incredible expertise and really sound thinking and philosophy around interculturalism and what that means and how we can try to embody that in practice and bring that into our work, and it was wonderful. So after year one, it was such a success that we did it 3 more years. So we've had 4 years of the Home Project. We carried out a lovely evaluation report, and that's something that we will want to learn from and take forward in our work. So there was a huge amount of impact, and both for the artists that were involved, for the communities, and for all the mentors that worked on the project as well. It was really special. So we're very grateful that Terra Nova are an East Belfast partner for us in that project. Say interculturalism, belonging, and friendship.